Hello everyone, this is Stu from Playground Games. So tonight we're going to look at the solo bot. A lot of people have been asking to know more about how it works. So we got it all laid out down here, and we're going to run through it. Now what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to run through a full game because it takes too long. I'm just going to run through basically what the bot would do and how the bot would work. So if you go on the website, you can download the solo bot quick reference sheet. And that's 2 pages of A4 that tells you how everything works. And pretty much what you've got is how it deals with events, how it deals with money, where it's going to place its spies, and then placement guidelines for various other things. And there's also deck construction. So if we look at, zoom in, here we go. So these are the solo cards. And you can, as I scroll across, you can kind of look at them and see what you think. So the ones with the A's, they're always in the deck. And this is like a core deck. There you go. That's the 8 that make up the core deck. And then depending on which one you want to play, there are like a variety of pre-built bots. You can choose whether you want it to be like super aggressive or technology focused or good with spies and things like that. There's 6 pre-builts that come in the box, and then you get to add these in. So when it doesn't say A, there are always extras that get added in. So for this particular one, I picked Fancy Bear for the Soviets, which adds in an extra recruit spies, so they're going to be doing that more. Invest Push, which is pushing it into other people's territory, and more technology. And each bot can choose from all these different cards. There's another 9, and you can get a lot of different varieties. So I'll just go down and have a quick look at what they are. So recruit spies, place 2 spies, then use them. Okay. Aggression. This is either if a civil war is in effect, place an army, or go in somewhere if the mad value is not too high. Now we've got technology, form of research, then use a spy. Trade's a little bit different. You roll a die, and you only implement it if you roll a 3 or above. So sometimes the bot's just not going to do anything. Now, there's an optional kind of way of playing it. You can either play it like that, or you can always implement red if you find that rolling's too easy. Or equally, you could have +1 or whatever. But that kind of simulates humans rolling bad dice, basically, or making bad decisions. Investments, place an investment counter in 2 different countries. Remove unrest, and then this is the US's big special actually. So the US will then do this twice, so it'll do the card twice, and that represents US debt. Build weapons, the best strategic weapon you've got. If you roll a 6, build a bunker, then use a spy. Change governments. Again, you roll, and in a country with a cube, change the government, place a bit of unrest. Influence, maybe do nothing, maybe implement red, place a cube in a country with 1 investment. And US also gets another little democracy bonus there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these really badly. Let's try again. Now I'm going to add to it the extra cards for this particular bot. So there's 11 cards in this deck now, and what that means is that that's probably going to take 2 turns to cycle all the way through. Alright, so before we crack on, just a little note about what the whole thing is. So the quick reference sheet basically covers every eventuality, or tries to, but there's quite a bit of wiggle room in this. This is not an AI in the sense that we think of AI these days. It's a sheet of cardboard. So I've done my best to kind of give you an opponent that's gonna play a decent game. But there are going to be lots of things here. For example, investment placement, where you've run down and it don't quite match any places where it's supposed to match. So if there are multiple places, for example, if we look there, maybe it could place there or there or there or there, then just roll the dice and just work out which one it's going to be, or make a choice yourself. So the bot's not going to be able to pick all these things out because it's just not clever enough to do that. What it is going to do, hopefully, is give you an opponent that's interesting to play against, a bit random because you're not quite sure what it's going to do, and plays a bit like a human player. Again, human players can be a bit random; they can do weird things. But the kind of core thing about all this is, if the bot's doing something that's obviously stupid, then stop it and intervene and say, "No, I'm not going to do that because that's a foolish move." So the bot's kind of more of a guideline on how to play, I would say, than a true kind of, not like a computer game. Anyway, let's show it off, and you can make your own minds up and see what you think. So, in a typical game, you would just shuffle this deck, and then flip a card over. Okay, so straight away we've got a red card, and in this case, the bot's going to play Soviets, and they're going to play, I guess, a fancy bird. Yeah. It could be either, could do either side, doesn't really matter. It changes a few rules, it changes a few orders of precedence, that's about it. So, China rebuilds. If China's in civil war, roll a die. China does start the game in civil war, so we just roll a die. I'll use the green just because it's easy to see. I thought I'd add the China army in China and remove the card. So, oh no, China, I think she's, there she is. So, nationalists got a bit of a kick in. Ah, Uncle Joe. Alright. Again, this is just a regular roll, so let's flip. Try to roll. On a 5, remove 1 or 2 war operation markers. Okay, so the bot's got a choice now. Can I either remove 1 or 2? So we look at the guidance for event cards, and it says cards sometimes require a decision to be made. To determine what the bot does, roll a die. The choice is 50-50 good or bad. Then roll a die and get 50-50. If there's only one option, choose that on a 4 or above. If there's a cost, only ever pay 1. Okay, so in this case, it can take off 1 or 2 markers. So 1 to 3, it's going to take off 1. Yep, it's just going to take off 1. And then place number rest there, and then we'll start with death. Alright, so if you look on the sheet, there is a little helper, placement guidelines for reparation. Austria first, it says. Alright, so we're going to take off Austria first, where this is. So that reparation marker, it's the first one the bot's going to pick. So they're going to put number rest on, because that's what it says. And it's going to add a money in, because that's our reparations. But again, it says that on the card. And we shuffle that back in. Alright, so move 1, reparation, place an unrest, add money, then place an unrest in the other time. Okay. And then roll for Stalin's death. So it's another straight roll. And we get a 3, turn 1 4 plus now. So he's alive, and we cycle. So that just goes into, I'll just leave it there actually. That's the cycle part, and that's the removed. Alright, so I've rolled this one because it's not purely American. We'll see how it goes. Oops. A 2, no effect. Gone. War operations. And roll again. 3. Remove 0, 1 or 2 war operation markers. Okay, so we're going to take war operation markers off. Place in the rest, and add some more money. So again, I guess we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for which one the bot's going to choose. Oh, it's going to take 2 war operation markers off, and it says Austria first. then where you have spies. Alright, so we ain't got any spies there or there. Okay, so we're taking 2 off. We don't get any of the things it's asked for. Just as never cause a coup. Alright, so we take 1 off there. We add unrest in Germany. That won't cause a coup because there's only 2 and we'd need 3. And we can take 1 off in Hungary, which again don't cause a coup because we'd need 3. So that's kind of as much as it can do. So that was a real hammering in terms of reparations. They really wanted the money. So we're then going to take 2 reparations cards. I'm going to flip them, add them to the deck, and shuffle. Alright. Cycle, if turn 2 removes not turn 2, we'll get cycle again. Indonesian independence. Yeah, some stuff might happen. Let's not worry about it. Let's move on. Paperclip. This could be a Soviet thing, so let's roll that. No, USA gets a freebie. Again, we're not going to worry about USA, we're just interested in what the bot's going to do. Military expert, okay, proper Soviet money card. So this is where the deck comes into play. Now for these cards, if I can find it, I did say it earlier. Here we go. When the military export money or an oil money card is revealed, so the ones that would allow you to buy, if you look at that, it allows you to buy stuff, oil trade, farm trade, tech trade. So if one of the cards comes up with that bar on it, then the AI will buy one. Now there aren't any, it would be in the Western trade box, but it would. And it would just immediately buy one because they're really good. But it's not going to do that because there isn't one. So it says if embargoed, this card does nothing at 1. We're not embargoed, so we're going to turn over solo card, which says recruit spies. That's a nasty first turn card for the AI. Place 2 spies onto the map from the force pool. So, USSR spy activity should prioritize suppressing unrest in the USSR by having 1 or more available spies. So, I think we need another spy because we've got 2 unrest. So, put 1 there. Again, you could roll for that if you don't think that's right. But and then the next one is tech theft, and they've already got a spy here, but there's another tech theft marker there. So that satisfies the card, I think. Place 2 spies. Then use 2 spies. Alright, so it says any spy action in a location with a spy exhausts the spy and automatically succeeds once. So flip that spy, I'm going to nick that tech. Flip that spy, and nick that too. Which is equivalent to a human player, just rolling really quite well. But certainly possible. I'm just going to put that there. And then when we steal tech, different sheets. This is on the main kind of game quick reference sheets rather than the solo sheets. Here we go, spy actions, steal tech. Each success removes a tech theft marker and applies 2 successes in 1 category, only 1 in computers, industry, or farming. Computers and industry, certain thing. There you go, computers and industry. It's that row, or farming. So, okay, so they've got 2 tech successes. So it says, again on the solo sheet, the bot will there we go, sorry, found it. The bot will emphasis on initial nuclear weapons and then space technologies. Alright, so initial nuclear weapons or atom bombs at 2, and we've got a 2, so that seems an obvious one. The Russians get bombers. And then space tech, so we can't steal it because the Americans have not got it. Which means that we can't steal it, so okay. So the next option then is ICBMs and satellites. So that's up that route as well. Satellites don't. It's not that's all this route. They're like really keen on this route. Farming when the 5-year plan will award a bonus. On the 5-year plan will award a bonus, and we can always still farm because Americans are always assumed to have better tractors than we've got. So we're going to get one because it's farming. That's all we need. But that does satisfy a 5-year plan, so that then just move that off the board, and we have scored that, which then sets that back to 0, and we'll get hammer and sickle, which will be a meeple in the real game because we've done them, so they should look cool. Right, so that would be that military export, which triggered that event. And that just kind of sits there, and that spins back into the cycle pile. That's a cycle card. Some stuff's going to happen. Again, it's mostly America. We're not worried about that. That might put that might actually take some influence off UK. Again, it's mostly an American card. We're not going to worry about the American aspect. All right, research. We're not going to do the American research. We're just going to do what the bot's going to do. And we already know the bot's fixated on nukes, but it's just kind of done that, and it can't get to ICBMs without getting to space launch vehicles. So its choice is going to be to add an extra cube to 2, which makes 2 cubes because there was 1, and it needs 2 cubes because it's in the 2 row, and so they've got themselves a space launch vehicle. US money, we're not going to bother. Berlin blockade. Alright. So, USSR may roll the die. Now, it's generally 50-50. If we think, you can obviously modify it if you think it's a bad thing for USSR to chance with harm on. It says if it's 50-50 good or bad, then it's 50-50 choice. So, let's assume it's 50-50 good or bad. So 1, 2, or 3, the bot's not going to bother. No, they're gonna. So we roll the dice again. They get a 2. Violence in Berlin, plus 1 unrest in the USA and USSR. That's bad. Then apply 3. US rollback reforms. US must remove 1 influence in West Germany. Or take a money owed counter trade as a 4+ result. Let's assume the Americans just veto that. They take the money owed. They say, yeah, we're not doing that. And the whole thing's just a few people get shot in and around Berlin, basically. Civil War. Alright. That would be first card. We'd roll a dice. And get a 6. The Soviets can add Civil War 20 Civil War. Don't think there's any guidance specifically about civil wars. It's just where you think they would do it. So let's just have a look and say, okay, Indonesia, Vietnam, or Greece. They're the 3 options. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you could pick. But let's do a random roll. Greece then. Alright, war operations. So it's another Soviet card. Take this time. Perform a research action, then use the spy. Soviets complete 5-year plan if possible. They've already done that. Emphasis on initial nuclear weapon space take ICBM and satellites. Okay, so they're already kind of at the point where it deviates either to nukes, satellites, or space tech. So again, I'd just recommend rolling the dice and saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's the way they're then going to go until they succeed. 2, alright, they're big on ICBMs. So they're gonna try and develop ICBMs. And then they're going to use a spy. So they do have spies in Russia. They're going to flip one of them. And each spy in a location where the spy exhausts the spy automatically succeeds once. And if you want to, you can play on kind of easy mode, which is if playing using the green novice difficulty level, the bot needs 2 spies, and both must flip in order to get a success. So you can tailor that as well if you think the spies are too good. All right then. More Soviet money. I'm not gonna bother cleaning up too much because this is just a demo. So more Soviet money would be another solo card. Aggression. So if civil war is in effect, place an army in any that does not have one already. I think we're good. Army, and we've got the Chinese army. So they've all got armies. If all of armies or armies are not eligible to be placed, place 2 investments. So you can chuck money into civil wars, chuck bullets and things. Or if an aggression is available and 1 is, pick a target country. If not, or if MAD is 3+, research land or air. So MAD is currently 3+, because that's where it starts the game. So the Americans have got 3+ MAD avoidance as well. So that means that on a 3, 4, 5, or 6, they put us off because the nuclear superiority is scary. So we're not going to do that one. I think we're probably going to do this top one. Again, we could roll for it if we wanted to. We could random roll and see which one they did, in which case they research land and air. But I think they're going to put some investment in civil wars, which again, if you really wanted to, you could randomize, but let's just split it up. Let's just do 1 in there and 1 in there, which is a very common first turn Russian move. Card's done. Right, Red Army. Let's start off by rolling a dice. Oops, so flip, so roll. A 5. Soviet player may pay $2 to increase the conventional balance track by 1. Now the guidance on events says for cards when the decisions are optional, like Red Army, the bot won't pick an option unless the player rolls a 6. And if there's a cost associated, the bot will never pay more than 1 money. So it should never do that. I mean, you could roll, see if you get a 6, but and you can gain it all per space the track has decreased. So maybe it'll do that. Maybe yeah, it will. It's gonna gain $1 per space the track. So it's actually gonna demob the army a little bit. Yeah, surprise, nobody saw coming. Okay. But then it would get an extra money card, which would be really piling the money in. And that would then go into the deck and flip. After this, the Soviets can place a free army into a civil war or place an investment if advantaged or better on the conventional balance track. And they still are. They're still better than Americans in terms of conventional. If the army size is decreased, they get a workers marker in the USSR as well. So they've actually done what few players will do and demobilize some of the army. It's actually not a bad move, depending on what your strategy is. So, alright. That's going to cycle. Did we do it all? After this, you place a free army to civil war, place an investment adjacent to the USSR. Oh, we'll have a free investment then. So, where's it going to go? Well, the only civil war adjacent to the has got an investment already. So let's show what we're going to do. We could have a random roll, see where it went. Let's say we roll. It's got to be adjacent to USSR though. So, I don't know. Let's say it goes into Kazakhstan. We could roll for it. Oh, we can just put it in there. Oops. Proxy war. So this is +1 if Stalin's alive. Right, roll dice. 2 up to 3. Military intervention is not authorized. So Korean War didn't happen. We've got some more money. And this time we've got trade. So roll a die. So on 4, the implement red. So in a country with a friendly government, remove a destruction marker. You can go into war, and that would say make countries better, but actually we've got plenty of destruction markers. So let's country with a friendly government. Well, glorious USSR surely is a top priority. So we'll take a destruction marker off, and that gives us an extra victory progress because we've gained the factory. That's it. Soviet famine. Yeah, so we get lucky again. There is no famine. Tito. 2. 4 plus if Stalin is dead, no. 5 plus if he's leader, no. Otherwise, we've expelled him. Yugoslavia was authoritarian, we had unrest in the USSR, so we're back into crisis. Yugoslavia was authoritarian, so we just take that disc off because it's printed grey. And we're back to 0. We'll not bother with US. We'll not bother with popular unrest. Nazi spies. Oops. Russians get Soviet spy in East Germany or any country adjacent. You could roll in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's just say there isn't one in East Germany, and that's probably useful. And we got unrest, so you know what? That seems to make sense. I could fiddle, but it's fine where it is. Again, non-Russian card, let's not worry. Civil War, right, this would kick all the civil wars off. We're going to roll loads of dice. There's going to be like +1, +2 here, +2 here, so on and so forth. It will change the map state, but again, that's not really what we're here to demonstrate. If you want to see that, you can see that in the full walkthrough of the first time. McCarthy. You know what? Should we just flip on to. There we go. We've got 1 Soviet money, 2 Soviet money. Let's just do some Soviet money. Alright, so change government. So, gonna roll dice. Well, let's assume that it goes through. In a country with a cube, change the government to your colour and place an unrest. Alright, so country with a cube. Oh, we've got Albania, so we could bring them back on side. That's probably it actually, because it waits to come out. I think Albania's been swayed again. Obviously, we could have failed. We could have rolled a 1 or a 2. And we had a point of unrest. Country with a cube, change the government to your colour, place an unrest. And if none are available, yeah, fine. Okay, so they quickly back up because of factory. They quickly got Yugoslavia back on side. And build weapons. Build the best strategic weapon available. If it's 6, build a bunker instead. Nope. So we're going to build. We built bombers. We actually got more. There should be all these bombers if possible. So I'm going to build that bomber, which then goes into strategic weapons box, and the 2 weapons cancel each other out. And so we now end up there are no strategic weapons, and so we go down to even strategic balance. And that'll be that one. Let's just spin through a couple more. Why not? Investment. Alright, so place an investment counter in 2 different countries. If there are 2 unrest in either country, move an unrest. And there's a priority order on the quick play sheet which says place it in your own land if you're in unrest, and we actually are in lots of unrest. So actually, the first one would go calm that down, and then if there are 2 unrest in either country, we're in unrest. Plus 1 unrest, 2 different brackets. We'd have another one, and we'd kind of work out where that went. The order of precedence says whether there's a friendly queue but not a friendly government. So you're trying to, or the bot's trying to get you to convert things, but we ain't got out because we've converted everything that's friendly. So then where the enemy player has placed investment, where's a friendly government with trade marker? Oh yeah, we've got some of them. So place it into Hungary. We're going to try and get rid of that trade market. Okay, so he's effectively investing into. Imagine there's that one too. But yeah, you could have a random roll. We're effectively investing into the block. And that's 2 going to place an investment in 2 different countries. We use 1 to take off unrest, and we put 1 into Hungary. Well, we got invest push. So this is the more aggressive one. Place an investment in 2 different countries, place into enemy-aligned countries adjacent to a friendly government. Now there are many. Actually, there's not that many. There's a couple that choose from West Germany, South Korea. Aligned means when there's one cube. And Vietnam. But you cannot place influence into investment. You can place investment into a country in civil war, so that could do that as well. That could be interfering down there. So let's say placed an investment in West Germany, and again you can roll for it, or you can just kind of take a gut feeling what you think feels right. And South Korea, we're going to push to South Korea. Then use a spy. So there's another spy in Russia. Let's flip him. Let's go a bit what Russians would do. We've got one Germany as well, but yeah, maybe he'll come out in a bit. And then what else we got? Influence. Roll a die, blah blah blah. Plus keeping a country with one investment and remove an investment. Alright, so country with a cube, plus a cube in a country with an investment. We could roll for it, but we built up Kazakhstan, so why don't we double up on that? We'll have loads of voting advisors in Kazakhstan. Obviously you could roll and see where it ended up, but I'm not gonna. Then we've got tech, which you've already seen, and then we've got recruit spies, which is place 2 spies into the board, then use them both. Really, really powerful. That kind of emphasizes the Russian ability, and the reason it emphasizes the Russian ability is that the Americans can't make spies. So what I've done on the cards is on the there's a couple of these cards that give the Americans like a special. The Russians don't need it because that's built into this card. This one's super powerful because if there are things on the board to steal, you just place it on and you steal it. So as an American solo player, you're really going to have to try and nobble these tech thefts before Russian gets a chance to do something. So I hope that gives you an idea. There's lots of variety, but they're all predominantly kind of similar. Again, you've seen change government, you've seen investment. There's a little bit of alteration on some cards, but by and large, it gives you a framework to make decisions with. And you can either then make them decisions, or you can roll a dice and have completely random decisions. But it'll still give you, hopefully a reasonable opponent to play against. So after we did this, we'd go through all the turn regular, we'd do all the cleanup. And there's not really any difference when the bot plays the USSR. You just play exactly as you would against a person. If the bot plays the USA, you ignore the president track. You still roll to see if there's an unfortunate incident with assassinations, but you don't get any of the bonuses. And you don't use the debt either. So the AI kind of builds that in, and they build that into, I can't remember which one it is, I think it's plus investment, where there's a big US card, and they get to do it twice. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much it. I hope you like it. If you want to know any specifics about what it is, or anything you've said, please let me know. Other than that, I will push this and let you have a look. Thank you very much for watching.